Hey everyone, my name is Daniel Lee, and this is a demo of my app Safe Eats, a food inspection app. It allows food inspectors to load food inspection data and users to view those inspection results for restaurants in the Chicago area. So the first page that you come across when you load up the app is the login page. Any combination of username and password that's not in the table will deny you access, including if you leave it blank, as so. But JDough is one that I preloaded. And out of the two users that you can be, inspectors or users, I made JDough an inspector, so he has access to everything. To start off, I'm going to show you what data points have been preloaded into the database. So if you look here, you could select by restaurant name or by results and risk. If you choose restaurant name and you leave this field blank, I put a little note here that all will be selected. So here I selected, and it'll show you the resulting table, which is a join between inspections and restaurants. We have here the inspection ID, which is the unique key for the inspections, and restaurant ID, which is the unique key for restaurants. And then we have the restaurant name, address, inspection date, results, whether they passed or failed, and the risk level, whether it's low, medium, or high chance of getting sick from eating there. We have the inspector ID, which is the ID number of the inspector that made that inspection. Okay. Next, I'm going to show you how to make an insertion. So for the insert, which is this top portion here, and the bottom is the update. But in the insertion, if you leave any of these fields blank, it will throw you an error that says one or more fields are blank, right? And so I'm going to choose restaurant name, Pizza House. Address is going to be, let's say, 123 Main Street. And case doesn't matter. It'll auto uppercase everything anyway. Here I'll do, they had high risk, but they somehow passed anyway. Insert is successful. So if I go back and check the select all, see how Pizza House is here, auto incremented keys made by inspector 3 because we're logged in as JDough, who is inspector 3. Now if we show the inspectors list again, we see the number of inspections for JDough has auto increased, and these numbers will auto increase and decrease depending on whether we add, delete, or update inspection entries. Okay. I also wanted to show you another feature here, that if you were to put in an identical Pizza House with the identical address, no matter what new results and risk you put, it will throw you this error that says restaurant already exists, and this is to prevent duplicate restaurants from being added. Now if you wanted to update the results and risk of an existing restaurant, you would use this update field down here. So let's try that. So inspection ID, we know this, that if you leave it blank, there's errors. ID needs to be an integer, so if you do letters, it'll give you errors and won't let you do it. Oh, actually this will says not all the fields are filled. And so if I do all the fields but still not an integer, it'll say must be an integer. But let's update by inspection ID. So I want to update the Pizza House I just entered. So that was inspection ID number 5. And instead of pass high, I made a mistake. It was high risk, so I want it to fail. So now it should be fail. So I'll update that. Inspection inserted successfully. Now I go here and I select all, and I'll scroll up so you can see. And sure enough, now they have failed and they're still high, and it's done by inspector 3. Now if you were to update, let's say Dunkin' Donuts, who risk was medium but they passed, and now I want to change it to the risk was high and they passed, it's done by inspector 1, but if I as inspector 3 update it, now it should read inspector 3 and take away 1 from the number of inspections for inspector 1. So let's try that. So inspection ID for that entry is number 1, and instead of pass medium, I'm going to say they failed and now it's high. So let's update that. It's successful. So now we check. Inspector 3 has now overwritten Inspector 1. And if you select inspectors, Inspector 1 had 2 and JDough had 1, but now those fields are updated too. Okay. That concludes insertions. for select, let's check this out. So I added a feature for the select by restaurant name where if you type a piece of a word or like a sequence of characters, it will look through all the restaurant names, and every single restaurant name that has that sequence of characters somewhere in the name, it will select it. So if I do PIZ, it'll give me the two restaurant names with pizza in the name, right? And so that worked. Down here, basically you have to choose between pass and fail. It defaults to pass. And then for the safety risk, you could add filters. If you leave them blank, no filter will be applied, so it'll just be all the passes or all the fails. So now if I select all just to see what we start with, notice I have 4 fails and 1 pass. So if I select by pass, it'll show me the 1 pass. If I select fail, it'll show me the 4 fails. And now I could do fail and load, and there's none that were fail and low, so it won't give me anything. But if I do fail, medium, or I could keep low there because it's low or medium, it'll give me the medium. And if I do high, it'll give me low, medium, and high. Now you might have noticed that if you leave none selected or all selected, it will give you the same results. Okay, on to deletions. For deletions, you can delete by either inspection ID or by restaurant ID. Okay, to test these out, I'm going to do a new select all. Okay, so here, okay. Now, let's say I wanted to delete inspection ID number 1. So the Dunkin' Donuts Baskin Robbins. I could simply type in 1, and inspection 1 was successfully deleted. And if you check, sure enough, 1 is gone. And that was done by inspector 3, right? Because we updated it, so inspector 3 is now decremented. And it'll always reflect the most recent. So inspector 1 has 1, 2 has 2, and 3 has 1. And that's what it reflects. Now if we go back to delete, for both of these, we could delete by restaurant ID and inspection ID again. And if you leave any of these blank, it will give you error messages. If you don't give integers for any of them, it will give you error messages. So if you enter an inspection ID that is an integer but doesn't exist, so we have right now inspections 2 through 5 now. What if I enter this large integer? It'll say that inspection ID of that integer doesn't exist, to please try again. It'll do the same thing for restaurants. Doesn't exist. So now I'll show you a deletion by restaurant ID. So we have left restaurants here. Let's delete Pizza House. So that's the last one. So that'll eliminate inspector 3, last entry. So that's ID is 100004. And now successfully deleted 1 restaurant with that ID number. If we do the select all again, it will show, yep, that restaurant ID 100004 is gone. All right, that's it. Hope you enjoyed.